Hello. Now that you know how to build your statue and how to sculpt the details onto it, you're ready for the final skill, carving. Let's take a look. Once you've sculpted the body of your statue and the details that pop out at you, you're ready to carve into the statue to create even more details. You can break your statue into its parts before you begin carving. When you carve into your clay, never use a knife. A knife makes slices, which are kind of different from a carve, and they close up easily, don't look good. Whenever you carve, use a tool that will push the clay and create a gouge, or scoop some of the clay out, not just slice a thin line into it. You can see how, as I'm making these carves, it pushes out little pieces of clay and creates a nice, thick line. You know you're getting a good carve if, as you carve, little bits of clay come out of the line that you're making, like that. If you want to make a wider line, you can use what's called a loop tool and lightly drag that loop tool along the clay surface, and it will scoop out a little ribbon of clay. The loop tools are really cool. One of the main designs you can make into your statue using the carving tools are lines. Here I'm carving some curved lines into the hair of my statue. It's normal to have to go back over your carves several times to make them wider and neater and to get those little pieces of clay to fall out of the carved line. I'm going to go in with a loop tool to make a wider line at the base of the hair. And then I'm going to go back over some of the carvings with a brush and just a little bit of water to smooth everything out, and then go back over the carves again to make sure that everything is neat and popping and you can really see the carves and there's not a bunch of crumbly, sloppy areas. And you can carve lines like this into any part of your statue where you think they will look good. The lines can take different shapes and curves and angles, any design that will improve the look of your statue. In addition to carving lines into your statue, you can also carve shapes. Here I'm going to carve a little oval shape into the side of the base of my statue, but you could carve squares, triangles, any shape you want to. Just be careful that you don't carve too deeply and actually bust through the wall of your statue. Remember, the wall of your statue should be around pinky thick, so you should be able to carve in about half a pinky thick before you have to worry about breaking through the wall of your clay. As you carve, be neat and be careful and be thoughtful, because you can fix a carve if you mess up, but it is a bit of a pain, so try to get it right the first time. I'm going to neaten that up a little bit with a brush, dust it off, and there you have a carved oval. I'm going to repeat that several times. Repetition is a good way to get the look of your statue to be pleasing to the eye by repeating different shapes and patterns across your statue. Pretty cool. The third and final way you can use carving is to actually puncture all the way into your statue. In this example, I'm taking the end of a brush and pressing it all the way into the center of the head, and then twisting it to make those eyes wide. If your clay is on the dry side, you may need to puncture in first with a knife and then use a brush tool to round out that hole. To make a wider hole, you can take the tip of a fettling knife, press in, and then spin so that you actually drill out a hole. This could be a cool way to make an eye or just to make a little window or opening into your statue. You can make it wider by carving out around the edge, like that. So those are all the possible carving techniques. You can see how I've used them on my statue there. Carving lines, shapes, and holes. Just don't forget to clean up your scrap when you're done. You'll end up with a little dust pile like that. Sweep it off into your hand and put it in the scrap bin. All right, it's your all's turn. Let's do it.